Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphaning. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it to the moon. So we are here on twitter.com, and we have a very interesting tweet from Stellar Organization. And it reads as such: learn how the Stellar Consensus Protocol, SCP, functions and why it's unrivaled by other blockchain networks. Unrivaled. That means they are proclaiming they're the best, and they're going to show you why. This is a good indication for their ambitions for the future of sharing up the protocol, making it even better. They know they have stiff competition, all right? I mean, it's friendly competition. All of these systems are going to be interoperable, but that doesn't mean they're not going to push each other. They're definitely going to do that, and that's good for you and I. The better they are, the more tempting they are for banks. And that's where the big money is. So as long as they have this friendly competition within that interoperable system, they will always be seeking to be the best, to one up the next blockchain and the next protocol, and they will become more delicious for the banks, commercial as well as the big banks, the central banks, to adopt. All right, and that means big money coming into this these particular banking coins. All right, so now let's click on that tweet and let's read a little bit of the article. Let's go here, and the article is titled "Intuitive Stellar Consensus Protocol." This is on stellar.org, and it is written by Marta Lokava. All right, and it begins as such: distributed consensus is literally the core of Stellar, but it can be difficult to understand. It is easy to get lost because there are a lot of steps, a lot of moving parts, a lot of rules to keep in mind. At the Stellar Development Foundation, we approach complex problems by building a high-level understanding first. In this post, we will discuss a simplified version of Stellar Consensus Protocol. Now, this is something that I want to say. And I want to highlight the way that they're laying this out. This is something very good that Stellar Development Foundation does that makes them easy to work with. They explain things to corporations, to banks in simple terms, and easy to understand terms, which makes it more digestible, the information more digestible for high-level individuals who may not have a lot of time. And what that does is it makes it easier for them to say, yes, I want to utilize this particular technology. That's very good. Other companies who are doing very well with their presentation, with their explanation of what their protocols do, the utility of the protocols is very important to have the banks understand this, and for you as a holder and investor in cryptocurrency to know what companies are actually reaching out and explaining their technology to the large banks and corporations. So other crypto that are doing very well with this, obviously XRP is doing a great job. XLM is doing a wonderful job, as we can tell right here. We're about to get into this article. Algorand is doing a fantastic job. They're very eloquent. These three members of the banking coin family, the holy trinity of banking coins, are doing very well at explaining why their technology is superior to legacy technologies, to the legacy system. And this is very important. Clarity and eloquence and explanation of the protocol is very important. And it goes hand in hand with making money. Them understanding leads to adoption, and adoption leads to you and I making large sums of money. All right, so it's very important. Now, let's continue on here. It says, these definitions are quite abstract in practice. When configuring a node, operators specify list of nodes they trust. They also specify thresholds, or the minimum number of nodes in such lists that must agree. We call these lists quorum sets. Let's scroll down a little bit further. It says everything begins with statements. I agree with that on a multitude of levels. A consensus round is a procedure to agree on transactions. And I think they use a federated Byzantine structure, right, within the Stellar protocol. A consensus round is a procedure to agree on transactions to execute in a particular ledger. Statements are the smallest consensus round building block. In the context of Stellar, valid statements express different opinions of nodes regarding transactions to agree on for a given ledger. For example, I vote for a set of transactions C to be considered for this ledger is a valid statement. Similarly, I apply a set of transactions C to this ledger is also a valid statement. Federated, okay, so now we're going to get into the federated aspect. Federated voting as an agreement tool. A distributed system, such as the Stellar network, needs a consensus mechanism to agree on different statements. And this is what differentiates, I believe, not only does Stellar use a federated Byzantine structure, but I believe that Algorand also uses a Byzantine structure to a particular degree. There may be differentiations. I believe that the differentiations would be minute, but I mean, I could be wrong in that, but it makes these systems very, very efficient. Very efficient. If you listen to Silvio Macaulay of Algorand explain their Byzantine system, it is quite efficient. All right. Now let's go here. Let's continue. In order to understand federated voting, we must first understand how a node reasons about the state of network based on what it learns from a quorum set. Specifically, a node does not know what nodes outside of its quorum set decided, yet the network must agree on a single value. Before a statement is 100% agreed on by every honest node on the network, it has to go through 3 steps of federated voting. Vote, accept, confirm. Okay, so because of systems such as this, federated Byzantine, okay, and federated voting as an agreement tool, it makes it very efficient. And what it's going to do is set up these protocol to be the dominant protocol of the future because of their efficiency, because they make sure everything is very secure, because they make sure that I forgot what there's a phrase I'm trying to think about, but there's a time where certain things are not agreed upon in other systems, right? And then they can fail. This ensures that there is no failure whatsoever, that everything is final and everything can go through. All right, so that's very important when we're talking about dominance. And when we speak of dominance, it goes hand in hand with money because, like I said before, it lends itself to the mass adoption of these protocol, Algorand, XLM, XRP, and to a lesser extent, Cello, being the dominant protocols of the future because of their security, because of their efficiency. All right, so this is very, very important. We just saw that Stellar also was in Haiti for a symposium. All right, and one of the things they're talking about is security. They are promoting that aspect of the particular system. Right. So, and then we also heard the Ukraine is expecting a very secure system. And this is one of the things they were happy, made them happy with working with Stellar about was the security. So security is a big issue. So, but having a system such as this keeps everything very, very efficient and very secure. And this is very important to large banks and nations and corporations who stand to be moving billions and trillions of dollars. And if we get to the point and this does what it's supposed to do, this interoperable system of protocols does what they're supposed to do, quadrillions will flow. Like my original video said, quadrillions will flow through these, which means that they must be efficient and secure. And when quadrillions are flowing through this interoperable system, those prices will skyrocket. There is no doubt about it. They will go very, very high. That's why this accumulatory phase, right, as long as these prices are pretty low, despite the little upticks, is very important if people want to make large sums of money to accumulate the proper protocol. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing my opinion with you right now, okay? But it's important to accumulate, especially when you have corrections, in anticipation of the adoption of these particular protocol by the banking systems and nations as well. Let's never forget national currencies. Never forget that. We focus a lot on the central bank digital currencies, but national currencies are just as impactful. All right. So now, okay. So along with efficiency, right, in security, we have this little section here. It's called Balladin, all right? Let's touch on this because there are some issues sometimes with certain networks. Certain nodes might not work. They might be unavailable. And a lot of people, something happened recently over the summer. A lot of people were panicking about certain things going down, not understanding that the decentralized nature of a lot of these blockchain systems allows for it to continue to function perfectly fine as it was perfectly fine, while other aspects of it may not be available. All right. So now balloting. The ballot protocol attempts to safely commit the composite value, even if some nodes on the network become unavailable. It consists of 2 steps. Prepare, which verifies that a node's quorum slice has the right value and is willing to commit. Second bullet point, commit, which ensures that a node's quorum slice actually commits the value. Okay, so this article is very, very extensive. It gives a lot of detail. It's a great article. It's on stellar.org. And once again, as I said, you can go to their blog section. All right, they have a very, very good blog section. I encourage you to go there and read for yourself because there's a lot more to this. We're not going to go that deep. Please go there and support the writer of this blog, Marta Lokava. All right, and give this a read. It's a very good read, very informative. So they are saying that Stellar is unrivaled. Make no mistake about it that the heads of banks, a lot of the people who are looking at Stellar to pump out their national currencies and central bank digital currencies, they like to hear this. They want the best. There is no room for humility here. The humility comes in when we're all using the interoperable system, when we're working together, XRP and XLM, XLM into Algorand, and they're just flowing one into the other. That's where the humility comes in. But you want to be the best. You don't need to be arrogant, but you should proclaim your ambition, your fire. You should show your fire because those people who want to utilize these particular things like that. They don't want the one who's going to sit in the back and pretend that they're not that good. They're not as great as everyone. Everyone else is great. No, they want to know that you have the fire in your heart to be the best and you're going to provide me with the best product, that you have the hunger to continue to innovate. And this is what they're showing right here. And that type of innovation, that type of fire is going to make you and I a lot of money, So all of these things that we're covering here are little steps, little catalysts that amount to the large money wave that could come in the future. We need all of this buildup. One step at a time. You climb the mountain one hold at a time. Okay? One little piece at a time. So we're climbing right now. Let them build. Give them the time. You have to be patient. If we're talking big money, of course, you're going to take your profits. It's perfectly fine. You're going to make a lot of money on the climb up. But the big money, if everything continues to go according to plan, is there. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. And until next time, let's get to the money.